Hey guys, and welcome back to another challenge video. If you guys read the title, you know exactly what kind of challenge we're going to do today. We're going to try and beat Pokemon Black 2 with just a Shedinja. If you guys happen to watch our last video, we tried to beat Pokemon Leaf Green with just our starter and no pausing. And that was a surprisingly difficult challenge, but I feel like this one will be a lot harder. Now before we get into the challenge, let me just break down Shedinja's stats. Now when talking about Shedinja's stats, we have to break down his best stat, his HP. Now if you didn't know, his HP stat is 1, which is really high, and it's probably his best stat out of all his stats. Now his attack stat is his second best stat at 90, meaning he'll do a lot of damage with physical moves. Unfortunately, a lot of his good moves are special, which means that won't be much of a help. His speed's also a bit low, which means later on Pokemon will probably start outspeeding us, which would be an issue considering if they hit me once, I'll be taken out. Now before we get into the rules, I have to break down the ability Wonder Guard. What Wonder Guard does, it stops any move that's not super effective from hitting, and Shedinja is the only Pokemon in the entire game that has this ability, because of its hulking HP stat. Now back in older generations, Wonder Guard was a pretty powerful ability, because overall most Pokemon didn't have much coverage, but in this game, almost every Pokemon has a dark type move like Bite or Crunch, making this challenge extremely difficult if I don't one-shot every Pokemon. So without further ado, let's get into the rules. Let's start it off with rule number 1. I am only allowed to use Shedinja to do damage in battle. Rule number 2. I am not allowed to use items in battle except held items. And the last rule, probably the most obvious rule, I am allowed to use HM slaves. And without further ado, let's get into the challenge. Now to start this challenge off, I do what I always do and name myself Dead, because you guys all know that I'm dead inside. Now as for my rival, I named him Andy, and you guys are probably wondering why I named him Andy. And the truth is, because these episodes have bad writing. It's kind of like Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Now after entering the world, it's time for us to choose our starter. And obviously you guys know we chose Shedinja. Now as for the name for Shedinja, I chose Dead like me because Shedinja's technically a dead Pokemon because he's the husk of a Pokemon. And I'm the husk of a human being. So there we go. Now after choosing our starter, it's time for our first rival fight. Now if you're expecting a difficult fight against my rival at this point, you're going to be badly disappointed because he can't even hit me. So it's pretty much me slowly wearing him down until eventually I beat him. Shortly after defeating my rival, it's time for us to attempt the hardest battle in this entire run. Youngster Tyrell. Now Youngster Tyrell only had one Pat Rat which went down to 2 scratches winning me the battle. Now that was pretty difficult. Now after defeating Youngster Tyrell, it's time for another rival fight. Now before going into this battle against my rival, I was shaking in my boots because Tepig learns Ember at level 7. But for some unknown reason, the AI decided not to use Ember for the entire battle, and I eventually take it out with Scratch. So yeah, you gotta love the dumb AI in these games. Now after defeating my rival, I rescue a dog from a guy who looks suspiciously like Team Rocket. Now after rescuing the dog, it's time for our first gym battle. Now before this gym battle, I made one of the worst decisions I could have made at the start of this run. I got rid of Scratch for Fury Swipes. Now this choice really screwed me over because Fury Swipes is not 100% accurate, and not only that, I can only hit 2 shots sometimes, which means I do less damage. So it was a big problem and it made this gym a lot harder than it had to be. Even with that though, I do manage to take out Pat Rat with a few Fury Swipes, but next up is Lillipup. Now against Lillipup, I get the bad luck I was talking about, and I don't take him out with my Fury Swipes, but he takes me out with Bite, meaning I have to try this gym again. After resetting about a dozen times, eventually I do get lucky enough to hit the 3 Fury Swipes, taking out Lillipup and defeating the first gym. Finally. After defeating the first gym, it's time for us to head to Burbank City. Now in Burbank City, it's time for us to challenge the second gym. Now to shorten this video out, I'm going to tell you this gym took me so long, almost 9 hours to beat. I had to grind all the way up to level 38 to even stand a chance. And even at level 38, 20 levels higher than this gym's strongest Pokemon, I still get taken out with Pursuit. So it's time to reset. After resetting about 7 more times, I eventually decided to use Fury Swipe instead of Shadow Sneak, and I hit just enough times to take out a Pokemon, winning the battle and claiming ourselves a second gym badge. After defeating the second gym, it's time for our first encounter with Team Rocket. I mean Team Plasma. Now the battle against Team Plasma Grunt's really simple because he sends out his Pat Rat. I use Fury Swipes, hitting 2 or 3 times, taking it out, winning the battle. Now with Team Plasma easily defeated, it's time for us to set sail. Now any of you guys have watched any of my previous challenge videos know that I love myself a shameless plug, so here's one. If you guys are enjoying the video at this point, leave a like on it. If you're not enjoying the video, leave a dislike. And if you have any ideas for any challenge videos for me, because I'm dumb and unoriginal, please leave them in the comment section below. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? It's free and I'd really appreciate it, so go ahead and do that. Also put your post notification bell on so you can see all my videos. Now with that shameless plug out of the way, let's continue on with the challenge. After a short sail, we arrive in Castelia City. The first thing we decide to do when arriving in Castelia City, instead of going sightseeing, is go look in the sewer because that's really fun. Inside of the sewers we run into Team Plasma again. Honestly, it seems like a pretty fitting place for Team Plasma considering they're pretty shit. Unfortunately, this is a double battle, and double battles do give me a bit of trouble later on in the run, but this one's pretty easy and we take out both of them in like one shot, winning the battle against Team Plasma. After defeating Team Plasma, it's time for us to attempt the third gym. The key word there is attempt, because I didn't think at this point that I'd be able to beat this gym, just because he has a Pokemon that has sturdy, which means I can't one-shot it. But then for some reason, the AI made the dumbest decision I've ever seen an AI make in any game, and he switched out to his Pokemon with sturdy, which means I get a free hit. After switching out to Dwebble, I managed to take it out in 2 shots. Then he sends out his other Pokemon again, I take it out, and then last up is his strongest Pokemon, Levani. Now Levani can't actually hit me because it hasn't got any moves that are super effective, so this battle is just me taking it out very slowly. But after taking out Levani, we beat the third gym and take the third gym badge. After defeating the third gym, I run into another member of Team Plasma. They start off by using Magnemite. Unfortunately, my Shadow Sneak doesn't take out Magnemite and it gets off a Thunder Wave, paralyzing me. Luckily for me though, Shadow Sneak always goes first, so I take out Magnemite on my next Shadow Sneak. Next up, they send out their Clink. Clink can't really do anything because it has no super effective moves against me, so eventually I take it out with Shadow Sneak. They do waste Super Potion on it though, but that doesn't really help them. And with that, we have defeated this Team Plasma member. Now with this Team Plasma member out of the way, we arrive in Nimbasa City. Now that we're in Nimbasa City, it's time for us to challenge the 4th gym. You guys have probably already noticed I'm level 55, and the reason for that is because this gym took me 6 hours and almost 100 tries to defeat, but here we are level 55 trying it again. Now to start out this battle, he sends out a Mogler, which I use Shadow Sneak on, taking it out in 1 shot, but I get hit with static and get paralyzed. Next up, he sent out her strongest Pokemon, which is the reason that this gym took me so long to beat, Zeb Striker. Now obviously I use Shadow Sneak on Zeb Striker, taking it out in 1 shot. I don't know how it killed it in 1 shot, but it did, so yay for me. Now last but not least, he sends out her Flaffy. And obviously you already know what happens here. I take out Flaffy in 1 shot with Shadow Sneak, defeating the 4th gym and claiming the 4th gym badge. Now it was at this point that I pretty much realized that I might have to be level 100 to beat the next gym, and that there was almost no chance I was going to beat the Elite Four. But let's find out if I did, shall we? Shortly after leaving Nimbasa City, we have our first rotation battle. Now the other trainer had an Archon, a Tortuga, and a Sigilyph. Now he starts off by using Quick Guard with his Archon, but I take it out with Shadow Sneak on the next turn. Next up he switches out to Sigilyph, and obviously Sigilyph goes down to 1 Shadow Sneak because it's super effective. Last but not least, he has his Tortuga, which also goes down to 1 Shadow Sneak, meaning I win my first rotation battle. Shortly after arriving in Driftvale City, we have to battle one of the old men from Team Plasma. Now to start off the battle, the old man sends out his Herdia, which uses Intimidate, lowering my attack stat, but I still manage to take it out with 1 return. Last but not least, he sends out a Sweebat, which is part Psychic type, meaning it goes down to 1 Shadow Sneak because it's super effective. It's definitely not because I'm way over leveled or anything. Well, with that out of the way, we have defeated the old geezer from Team Plasma. Unfortunately, after defeating the old geezer from Team Plasma, it's time for us to battle the gym, and this is where we hit our first major roadblock. Now you've probably already noticed at this point that I'm level 100, which means I was correct. I'm not able to beat the 5th gym without being level 100. I had to be level 80 to even one-shot her Krokorok at this point, which is fucking ridiculous. Just because it's half Dark type, and my Shadow Sneak doesn't do much damage because of that reason. Well, at level 100, here we go. Also, Krokorok has Intimidate, lowering my attack stat, which is already bad enough. Next up he sends out his Excadrill. Now Excadrill is the reason I wasn't even able to beat this gym at level 80, just because it has such high defense stat, and also because it's a steel type, it resists my normal attacks. But somehow, miraculously at level 100, I am able to one-shot Excadrill with return. Last but not least, he sends out his Sandslash, which goes down to 1 return because it's probably his weakest Pokemon, meaning I've finally beaten the 5th gym and claimed the 5th gym badge. After defeating the 5th gym, we head through Chargestone Cave and arrive in Mistletoe City. Now I said this in my last Pokemon Black video if you guys watched it, that these naming schemes in this game are pretty stupid. Now before battling the 6th gym, I decided to go to Celestial Tower to get Shadow Claw to make the 6th gym a little bit easier. Now with Shadow Claw at our disposal, we should be able to deal with a lot stronger Pokemon because it's a lot better than Shadow Snake. And now with Shedinja with Shadow Claw, it's time to battle the 6th gym. Now to start off this battle, she sends out her Sweebat, which is part Psychic type, so of course it goes down to 1 Shadow Claw. Next up she sends out her Swanna, which also goes down to 1 Shadow Claw because I'm so overpowered at this point. Now to finish off this battle, she sends out her Skarmory, which has Air Cutter, and I hit it with Shadow Claw, which doesn't take it out in one shot, and I was scared for my life, but I get so unbelievably lucky, and she misses her Air Cutter, which has 95% accuracy, and I win the battle, defeating the 6th gym and claiming the 6th gym badge. After getting so unbelievably lucky in our battle against the 6th gym leader, it's time for us to get on a plane and fly to the next town. Now you guys know I can't miss this opportunity to make a shameless plug, but I'm not going to tell you guys to like and subscribe again, because you guys have probably already done that at this point. So why don't you guys go follow me on Instagram? The link will be in the description, or it's up in the banner as well. Yeah, because I post on there every time I upload a video, or when I'm working on videos and stuff like that, so go check it out if you're interested. Anyways, now that's out of the way, after getting off the plane we arrive in Lentimus City. Shortly after that we go through a Nether cave. There's a lot of caves in this game. Anyway, we arrive in Undella Town, which means it's time for us to battle our rival again. To start off the battle, our rival sends out his Unpheasant. Unfortunately for Unpheasant, it goes down in one shot to return. Next up he sends out his Emboar, and honestly Emboar is a bit of an M-bitch and goes down in one shot to return. Last but not least, my rival sends out his Simipour, which also goes down to one shot to return. Honestly, my rival's Pokemon are pretty trash. After wasting about an hour travelling through towns that I shouldn't even be in because they're not important to the story, we finally arrive in Opelucid City, which means it's finally time for the 7th gym, the Dragon Gym. Now at this point I didn't think I was going to be able to beat this gym on my first try, because honestly back before Gen 6, Dragon type Pokemon was super overpowered. But shows what I know because I take out Druddigon in one return, which was kind of surprising. Next up was Flygon, which before this battle I was almost certain I wouldn't one-shot, but then I did. So yeah. Last but not least, he sends out his Haxorus. Now during my last Pokemon Black playthrough, I made a mistake in calling Haxorus a pseudo-legendary, but actually Hydreigon was a pseudo-legendary for this game, and the person in the comments that pointed that out, thank you very much. Anyway, with that out of the way, we one-shot Haxorus with a return, winning the battle and defeating the 7th gym. Now after defeating the 7th gym, I come to realise that Team Plasma has lost way too much Peter Pan, why else would they have a flying ship? Now at this point in the playthrough there's a lot of Team Plasma crap to run through, and I'm only going to show the key battles, just to save time on the video because it ended up being like a 30-minute long video. Now after Team Plasma attacks the town, we have to battle the member of Team Plasma with the stupidest name I've ever seen in my entire life. Now to start off the battle, the stupid named trainer sends out his Cryogonal. Now I don't know if you know this, but Cryogonal is considered one of the ugliest Pokemon in this game, and it's probably because this guy has a stupid name that he has a stupid looking Pokemon. Now for some unknown reason, Dumbass decides to switch out his Cryogonal for his Weavile, which will take out in one shot, and then he switches out his Weavile back for his Cryogonal, which will take out also in one shot. So this battle was super easy because this guy's a dumbass. Now I don't want to be super mean, but why the hell would you have 2 Cryogonal? They'd look fucking stupid, and they're not even strong Pokemon. What an idiot. Well with that we have defeated this trainer, and it's time to move on. Anyway, with that stupid battle out of the way, we arrive in Himalaya City. Now it's time for us to battle the 8th gym, and we hit our next big wall, Caracosta. Now if you don't know, Caracosta has the ability Sturdy, since I can't one-shot it, so I have to try and get lucky with Confusion and get it to hit itself. And usually it only takes about 2 or 3 attempts, but for me it took 15 resets to get Caracosta to hit itself. So here we are, the run where it finally hit itself. Let's see how it goes. Well, eventually when Caracosta actually hit itself, it was only one Super Shadow Claw away from killing it. Next up he sends out his Wailord, which is the biggest Pokemon in the entire game. Now not only is Wailord one of the biggest Pokemon in the entire game, it's also pretty tanky, so I didn't think I was going to one-shot a return, but then I did, so yeah. Now finally he sends out his Jellicent, which is half Ghost type, so I pretty much just kill it with Shadow Claw because it's super effective, winning the battle and defeating the final gym. Now if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't even think I was going to make it past Gym 5, but to make it past Gym 8 is pretty incredible. Well now it's time for us to head to the Elite Four, but first we have to defeat Team Plasma. After defeating the 8th gym, it's time for us to battle one of the Team Plasma bosses. They start off the battle by sending out Magnemite, but they instantly decide to switch into Metang, and Metang goes down to 1 Shadow Snake. After taking out Metang, they send out Klinklang, and Klinklang can't actually hit me, so I eventually just take it out with a few Shadow Snakes. Next up they send out Bayhem. Bayhem is part Psychic type, so obviously it goes down to 1 Shadow Snake. Next up is Magnemite, which starts off by paralyzing me, but it can't do anything else, so I eventually do take it out with Shadow Snake. Last but certainly not least, sends out Magnezone, which also can't hit me, so eventually I just take it out with a few Shadow Snakes. And with that out of the way, we have defeated one of the Team Plasma bosses. Anyway, after defeating the first Team Plasma boss, it's time for us to battle the legendary for this game, Kyurem. To be honest, before doing this battle I was pretty scared that I wouldn't be able to win, just because the legendaries are usually very strong, but surprisingly, Kyurem was kind of a pushover. Now Kyurem hasn't got any moves that are super effective against me, but he can still hit me because his ability Terror Bolt actually ignores my ability because of how it works. But for some dumb reason, and I don't know why, he decided to go for Slash instead of actually using a useful move, which obviously can't hit me because I'm a ghost type, not because of my ability, so he misses and I take it out with a return. It's really surprising how dumb the AI is in Pokemon games, but I'll take it where I can. Now after defeating Kyurem, I had to go back and get Shadow Ball because the next battle with Ghetsis is going to be really difficult to beat with Shadow Claw. You'll find out why in a second. And now it's finally time to battle Ghetsis. Now if you want to know the reason this battle is impossible with Shadow Claw, is because of Gigas has the ability Mummy, and when I kill it with Shadow Claw, it automatically turns me into a Mummy and getting rid of my ability Wonder Guard. Luckily for me, Gigas goes down to Shadow Ball in one shot, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, Electros does not go down to Shadow Ball, so it takes me out of Acrobatics, meaning I have to try this battle again. Next time around I do take out Electros with Shadow Claw easily. Next up is Hydreigon, which goes down to one return. Next up is Drapion. Drapion also goes down pretty easily to one return. Last but not least, Ghetsis sends out his Seismitoad, and at this point I was pretty sure I couldn't one-shot it, but somehow I managed to one-shot it with return, taking it out, winning the battle and defeating Ghetsis. Finally, after defeating Ghetsis, it is time for us to head to Victory Road and then the Elite Four. We will finally be rewarded for our hard efforts with Shedinja to make it all this way. Let's see if we can beat the Elite Four. Now if I had to make a prediction of what will happen when we get to the Elite Four, I think I'll be able to beat the Psychic type and maybe the Fighting type, but I don't think I'll be able to beat the Ghost or the Dark, for reasons you'll find out in a second. After a long perilous journey through Victory Road, we arrive at the Pokemon League. Actually it was only about 20 minutes, but here we are. Let's see if we can beat them. Now because I was pretty certain I wouldn't beat the entire Elite Four, I put in kind of a give up clause. If I can't beat them after 100 tries, I just give up and that's the end. So yeah, let's get right into it. Now I started with the easiest trainer, Psychic type Caitlyn, and this one was a pretty easy battle as you'll see. To start off the battle, Caitlyn sent out a Musharna. As you probably could have guessed, it only took one shot to take out Musharna with Shadow Claw. And it was pretty much the same story for all of our Pokemon, including Sigilyph, which is our next Pokemon, which also went down to one Shadow Claw. Now this might come as a surprise to you, but Gothitelle also went down to one Shadow Claw. Now I just want to say before this next Pokemon comes out, I'm probably going to butcher this, but next up she sends out Ranunculus. Now Ranunculus also goes down to one Shadow Claw, which is unsurprising. Now with that out of the way, we have defeated the first Elite Four member. Now unfortunately I'm sad to say, this is where the challenge ends. I tried both the Dark type and the Ghost type one 100 times, and couldn't beat either of them. You'll find out both reasons, I'll explain them in a second. Now you're seeing the best run I had for the Dark type Elite Four member in this clip behind what I'm saying, and I couldn't beat it, no matter what I tried different moves, everything. It's just because Dark resists my Ghost type moves, and there is a move that I could use to beat this Elite Four member, but I can't get it till after I beat the Elite Four, which is X-Scissor, which is a Bug type move which would be super effective, and it's the best move that he can learn, but you can't learn it till after you beat the Elite Four. So right now, I'm stuck. I can't beat this one. Now the problem with the Ghost type trainer isn't that I can't take out a Ghost type Pokemon. Actually with Shadow Claw most of them go out down in one shot, but the problem is that Drifblim, which has the ability Aftermath, which if I hit it with Shadow Claw, which is a physical move, I automatically get taken out at the end of the battle. Now I could try and get around with Confusion or whatever, but also her other Pokemon have like Flame Body and Mummy, which also fuck me over, so there's really not much I can do. So this battle is pretty much impossible. You might be able to do it, but I don't think so. And with that, I'm pretty sure I can say, I don't think it's possible to beat Pokemon Black 2 with just a Shedinja. Now, I tried this for almost 4 weeks. This challenge took me so long to record, and I'm pretty much brain dead at this point, and I don't want to do any more. So, if you can beat it, let me know in the comments, because I definitely couldn't, and you guys are probably better at Pokemon than I am. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. There'll be a subscription thing in the bottom right corner. And if you guys want to check out more of these videos, there'll be one in the bottom left corner, like a playlist of these videos. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye for now.